Is the United States playing a dangerous game by quarantining its own citizens abroad? On Thursday, senior Trump administration officials confirmed a policy that's raising serious eyebrows. Any American exposed to Ebola will not be allowed back into the country. To manage this unprecedented situation, a 50-bed field hospital quarantine facility, specifically for Americans, is being constructed in Kenya and is set to become operational this Friday. This is not a drill. This is a significant shift in how the U.S. is approaching potential health crises originating overseas. Before we continue, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in U.S. politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow. The context here is critical. We are talking about Americans who may have been exposed to the Ebola virus. This is a pathogen known for its rapid and devastating spread. The administration's stated goal is to prevent any potential risk of the virus entering the United States. However, the method they've chosen is raising alarm bells. Instead of bringing exposed Americans back to U.S. soil for observation and care, they are setting up a dedicated facility thousands of miles away in Kenya. Let's break down the key facts. This facility in Kenya is a 50-bed field hospital. It's designed to house Americans who have been exposed. If an individual tests positive for Ebola or develops symptoms while in this Kenyan facility, they will be moved elsewhere for more advanced medical care. The officials haven't been clear about where these elsewhere locations are, which adds another layer of uncertainty and concern to this already complex situation. The implication is that while they will be cared for, it won't be in the United States, and the specifics of that advanced care remain somewhat vague. Now, let's dive into what this actually means and who is affected. The most immediate impact is on Americans traveling or living in regions where Ebola outbreaks are a concern. Imagine being an American citizen, potentially exposed to a deadly virus, and being told you cannot return home. You will be placed in a quarantine facility in a foreign country, far from your support network, your doctors, and the familiar environment of home. This raises profound questions about the rights and protections afforded to U.S. citizens abroad. This policy also has significant geopolitical implications. The decision to build and operate a quarantine facility in Kenya is a major undertaking. It suggests a long-term strategy for managing such crises, but it also places a burden and responsibility on Kenya. How was this decision made? What kind of agreements are in place between the U.S. and Kenyan governments? Was there full consultation and consent? These are questions that need answers. The potential outcomes are varied and deeply concerning. On one hand, the administration might argue this is a necessary measure to protect the homeland, a proactive step to contain any potential outbreak before it reaches American shores. They are essentially creating a buffer zone. However, critics will undoubtedly point to the humanitarian aspect. Is it humane to deny your own citizens the right to return home during a health emergency, even for quarantine? What message does this send about American values and its commitment to its citizens, no matter where they are? Furthermore, the lack of clarity on where individuals testing positive will receive advanced care is a significant point of concern. Does this imply that the U.S. is unwilling to treat its own citizens for Ebola on American soil? Or is it a logistical decision based on the availability of specialized medical facilities? The ambiguity leaves room for speculation and fear. This move could also set a precedent. If the U.S. can quarantine citizens abroad for a health crisis, what about other types of emergencies? This policy could be seen as a retreat from international responsibility, a prioritization of national borders over the well-being of its own people when they are outside those borders. It forces us to ask, where does the obligation of a nation to its citizens truly end? The implications for public trust are also substantial. When such significant policy shifts are made with limited transparency, it can erode public confidence in government's handling of critical issues. The fear of the unknown, coupled with the perceived abandonment of citizens, can lead to widespread anxiety. So, what do you think about this? Is this bold, necessary policy to protect America, or is it a heartless abandonment of U.S. citizens in their time of need? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. The United States is charting a new and potentially controversial course in global health security. The operationalization of this Kenyan quarantine facility marks a significant moment, forcing a global conversation about national interests versus humanitarian obligations, and the evolving definition of citizenship in an interconnected world.